Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to extract the core insights you need.
And today we're zoning in on Maurice, a real expert in hospitality F&B.
Yeah, his reflections are gold, especially if you're a hotel or restaurant owner listening right now.
Absolutely. He's seeing this big shift away from just food on a plate.
Right, towards what he calls experiential dining. That's the core idea, isn't it?
It is moving beyond just serving meals to actually, creating unique, memorable experiences. That's what his insights really hammer home.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive. Unpack that for you, the owners, and give you some real, actionable ideas based on Maurice's thinking. Let's start with his first big point, the holistic food experience.
Yeah, this is interesting. Maurice says essentially that amazing food, well, it's just not quite enough on its own anymore.
Really, even if it's top-notch cuisine.
Apparently so, especially in Europe where he has a lot of experience. Diners there, they want more. They're looking to be, surprised.
Engaged emotional.
Exactly, and feel like they're part of something special, something unique. So, yeah, good food is the baseline, but you need that feeling.
That makes sense. So how do you create that feeling? Maurice talks about engaging all the senses, right? It's not just taste.
Oh, definitely not. He really stresses the role of, say, the decor, getting that right.
Setting the atmosphere.
And subtle things like aromas,
Mm.
and having a really good playlist that fits the mood. Immersive.
The music.
Yeah.
Often overlooked.
Totally. Maurice actually calls it a common mistake. His term is aurora fréquente, focusing only on the food and, well, forgetting the ambiance.
So even brilliant food can fall flat if the environment isn't right.
That's his argument, listening to amazing music on bad speakers. The
Yeah.
content's there, but the experience, it's just not the same.
Great analogy. And he also brings up storytelling. I find that part really interesting.
Yes. If you connect it back to wanting that unique experience, the story behind the food becomes, well, vital. Like sharing where the dish comes from, talking about the local farmer you worked with, or the, traditions behind a recipe.
It adds depth. Makes it more than just eating.
Exactly. It builds a connection. And Maurice even suggests taking it further, offering educational stuff.
Like what? Cooking classes?
Yeah, maybe culinary workshops or tastings, wine, cheese, whatever fits. Events centered around specific products. It makes it memorable, interactive.
He gives some European examples, doesn't he? La Boqueria
Yeah.
in Barcelona. I've been there. It's buzzing.
Right. More than a market. It's this whole immersion in Catalan food with the stalls, the little restaurants, the classes.
A complete food destination.
Precisely. It's that holistic idea in action. Or Le Train Bleu in Paris.
The restaurant station.
Yeah, but the ambiance, it's pure bel époque. He calls it a remontée dans le temps, like stepping back in time. The setting is the experience.
Wow. And the Nordiska Museet in Stockholm, using workshops in a museum.
Yeah, linking Nordic food traditions with local seasonal stuff. It's culture and food. It shows you can find opportunities anywhere, really.
Definitely makes you think.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift a bit. Maurice talks durability, transparency, especially for European consumer.
This is a big one. Environmental awareness is really high. People want to know where their food comes from.
And how sustainable the restaurant is.
Exactly. They demand transparency. It's not just a nice to have.
So you can't just say you're green. You need to, show it.
That's the point. He talks about concrete things. Partnering with local producers, really highlighting them on the menu.
Reusing waste, too.
Absolutely. Reusable packaging, maybe zero waste options, and featuring certified products, organic, AOP, fair trade. It signals commitment.
He warns about another error frequent here, doesn't he? Just using buzzwords.
Right. Slapping local or bio on something without any specifics. European diners, he says, are savvy. They want proof, details.
You need to back it up.
You do. And he's got some great examples of places doing it right.
Like Nola in Helsinki.
Yeah, Europe's first zero-waste place. Shows you can be sustainable and serve refined food with local ingredients.
And Rue in Copenhagen.
Working directly with farms. Simple, sustainable Nordic food, really low footprint.
And that app? Too good to go. That's everywhere in Europe now.
It is. Helping restaurants sell surplus food cheap. Smart way to fight waste, appeals to conscious consumers.
Okay, so senses, sustainability. What about tech? Technology doesn't always scream cozy dining.
It's a fair point. But Maurice argues when it's used, thoughtfully, it can seriously enhance the customer experience, build that brand connection.
How, though? Without making it feel cold.
Well, personalization is one way. Using apps to give recommendations based on what people like or their allergies, remembering past orders.
Like Netflix for food choices.
Kind of. Or
Yeah.
using augmented reality, maybe, for virtual kitchen tours or seeing where ingredients originate could be fun.
Okay, I can see that. And practical stuff.
Oh, for sure. Easy online booking, efficient delivery platforms, those are pretty much expected now.
Any examples of tech used well?
He mentions Noma again. Not just the food, but their online stuff, videos about producers, ingredients, extends the experience.
Right. And Big Mama Group.
Yeah, they use an app for bookings, very practical, but also like funny social media videos. Shows personality, uses tech for branding.
And then there's PAZZI in Zurich, the robot pizzeria.
Huh? Yeah. That's tech as entertainment, isn't it? A whole spectacle with your meal shows how far you can take it.
Definitely different. Okay, next up, authenticity. Marie says this is crucial, particularly in Europe.
It really is. People want food with, like, meaning, a story, something that feels real.
But not old-fashioned.
Exactly. That's the balance he talks about. Authenticity needs to feel current, not like a museum piece.
So for owners listening, how do you strike that balance? Honoring tradition but staying modern.
Well, training your staff is key, according to Maurice. Make sure they know the brand values, can share little anecdotes about the dishes, the inspiration, the source.
Makes it personal.
And adapting locally, maybe incorporating regional flavors or traditions, but still being true to who you are.
And the decor.
Keep it sincere. He warns against anything artificial or cliche. People see through that. It has to feel genuine.
He has examples for this too, right? They capture that genuine feel.
Osteria Francescana in Modena. Chef Bottura's take on Italian classics. It's modern, respects tradition, highlights local producers. It just works.
And El Nacional in Barcelona?
Yeah, that amazing food hall. Celebrates real flavors from all over Spain, but in this super stylish, historic place. Authenticity, but presented appealingly.
And Cesroni in Zermatt.
Classic Swiss chalet, traditional dishes, but with this strong focus on organic, local stuff. It feels rooted, real. That's the essence.
Creating that sense of place, of history. Got it.
Yeah.
Now, he also mentions well-being through food. That's a growing trend.
It is. It's not just about physical health, It's emotional well-being, too. Customers want food that makes them feel good overall.
So how can restaurants and hotels deliver on that?
Well, offering healthy options is a start. But Marie stresses they need to be appealing, not boring. Think creative flexitarian menus, great plant-based dishes, lighter stuff that's still delicious.
And beyond the food itself.
Creating spaces that feel good, maybe communal tables, family brunches, themed events that encourage connection. That helps emotional well-being.
And just making the food joyful.
Yes. He reminds us about pleasure, interesting textures, vibrant colors, beautiful presentation. That all contributes to feeling good.
Any examples of this well-being focus?
Deliciously, Ella in London comes up. Healthy vegan food that's genuinely flavorful and looks amazing. Celebrates food as well-being.
And Dinner in the Sky. That's different.
Yeah, definitely. Gastronomy, way up in the air. Combines adrenaline and great food. Memorable, maybe even therapeutic for some.
Yeah, look, Granja Ibiza.
Right, that slow food concept. Healthy eating, meditation, bohemian vibe. It's a whole package focused on holistic well-being.
So it really is about more than just the food on the plate. Which kind of brings us to Maurice's final overarching point, offering an adventure.
Exactly. He loops back to say, look, today's European and consumers want the full package. Authenticity, learning, pleasure, environmental care. All rolled into one.
A complete experience, a journey.
Precisely. It's about crafting something holistic, something they'll remember.
Okay, so let's boil it down for everyone listening. What are Maurice's key success factors for owners in this experiential dining era?
He says, design immersive experiences, engage senses, emotions, blend authenticity with innovation, tell real stories, but use tech smartly. And fundamentally, be genuinely eco-responsible and totally transparent.
No cutting corners on that last one.
Absolutely not. And he has a specific call to action, doesn't he? Something practical.
He does. His advice is, look at your customer journey now. Find just 2 or 3 key moments you can improve.
Doesn't have to be huge changes.
No. Could be the welcome, how staff talk about dishes, the follow-up after the meal. Small focused tweaks can make a big difference.
So the big takeaway from Maurice for you, the owners listening, is really that success today means crafting that whole memorable experience.
It's not just F&B anymore.
Nope. You're in the business of creating engaging, meaningful adventures for people.
Right. So here's a final thought to leave you with, thinking about your own place. How can you weave together these threads, authenticity, sustainability, smart tech, sensory engagement, to create something truly unique, Something that doesn't just feed your guests, but genuinely resonates with them, makes them feel something special, and keeps them coming back for more than just a meal. Where in their journey with you can you create that spark?